Welcome back to Overclock Showcase. I just got done recording the last one, so forgive me if my voice is parched and my wits dulled. Um, but at least we are looking at a better Overclock. Not that I don't like Smart Trigger. I actually really like Smart Trigger. I like Cluster Charges less, but Cluster Charges is better than Smart Trigger. Cluster Charges is the new Overclock for the Hurricane. It turns the rockets into cluster rockets and they sort of appear that way. So it actually doubles the rocket's direct damage and area damage by default, which I thought was a really neat sort of addition to it, but it really doesn't have any bearing on the weapon. What does is the clustering effect, which happens when you hold reload while the rockets are in flight. And then they turn into bomblets that overall actually pack a lot more area damage. A lot more area damage they must do, because they end up dealing more direct damage than direct damage. It's weird. It's very powerful. But obviously these projectiles are super slow and you have very small magazine and ammo capacity. And yeah, so this is a very balanced overclock, because you really do... I mean, if you don't use the cluster effect, you actually lose total damage. Like, the damage that they added, well, the ammo penalty is actually greater than 50%. And it's only made up for when you actually use the cluster mechanic, so obviously you should do that. No surprises there. But yeah, it's surprisingly tight. It's surprisingly close to being a downgrade, but it's not, because the cluster charges are just so damn strong. And they really are. And you're going to see that in practice today in two pretty distinct forms. One of them is this. The other one is this. There they are. Gaze upon them, for tonight we paint this town red. First build I'm going to be showing you is very, weirdly enough, fire focused. I might need to sneeze in this moment. Oh, Jesus. Oh, pardon. Excuse me. Oh, plague is here. Anyway. Yeah, this one's weirdly fire focused, and I wanted to do that. Now, what has surprised me the most is that even though we're dealing with damage that is almost entirely area based and the projectiles are slower, nitroglycerin is still not your friend. Maybe napalm and nitroglycerin are more similar than I think, but uncontrolled decompression still reigns supreme. Adding that level of crowd control and just interruptive capabilities to a weapon that is so consistently pumping out wide area of effect damage is really powerful, and that hasn't changed. But I really wanted to use the fire, and the reason why I want to use the fire is because the fire hits a incredible breakpoint. Now, I believe that you can still a grunt. You can still kill a grunt with one missile normally, but it's very easy to kill a grunt with one missile with napalm rounds because of the fire, and it feels really good. We are going to be focusing a little bit on comboing with our secondary weapons, which is why we take fire rate and projectile speed, because we also have a secondary weapon that doesn't care about armor. AoE in tier 1 is essential. Max ammo would be good if it gave you more, I'd say, but it doesn't give you enough to justify the lack of, like, the actual efficiency decrease. You are so much more effective with a wider area of effect, because it really does affect sort of the way the bomblets spread. It does a lot for that, which is why also we take zip fuel in tier 4, which is non-negotiable. It's the same for the other build. It's something I really wish I was able to do, was actually create a direct damage build. I don't know if I have that still intact anywhere. I don't think so. No. I really wanted to do a direct damage cluster charges build, which really just focused on the fact that it really boosts the base damage up to like 40, and still retains quite a high area damage, but it was just terrible. It really just wasn't good. I wish it was. It kind of makes me feel like this second positive here really isn't anything. Anyway, so we got a fire hurricane combined with a strange necrothermal catalyst coil gun with backfeeding module to just give us more ammo, just more powerful shots. So we take tier 1 damage just because there's no reason not to. We got a lot of ammo anyway. Tier 2 is weird. We got charge speed. I would normally really want to be using overcharger, but charge speed I found to be much better. Now this speaks to a very strange aspect of this build specifically, but really goes against the usual principles I use. This build does not really divide its roles. It doesn't have a really strong single target component. So we kind of just have to use both of them in conjunction. This thing here really is actually to supplement our AoE against really dense crowds, and also to very quickly pick off high priority targets like Tri-Jaws and Acid Spitters, Stingtails, Spreaders, Menaces, that kind of thing. But it still does pretty well against anything except Oppressors. Probably the worst one is Oppressors. It would be better if you could use Overcharger, but you also can't because there's no way that Oppressor is going to stay on fire by the time you actually have a fully charged shot. So I've actually found Optimized Magnetic Circuit to be so much more conducive to a good feeling build. It's just so snappy and so responsive and so just explosive. Tier 3 Fear Trajectory just gives us a really strong crowd control component that we are otherwise lacking on our primary weapon. Tier 4 Defense Enhancement is not essential, but it does give you that nice window of defense. I'll go either way here. Shockwave could actually potentially be okay. That's fine. Necrothermal Catalyst is obviously, you know, the main player here. It increases our damage against burning enemies, which is very important. Obviously, it also makes them explode when we kill them with direct damage, which is a very powerful effect and makes our actually relatively small hurricane ammo supply go. It makes it what's the term? Go a longer way? That's not. Doesn't sound right. That's not it. It's not right. That's not right. Whatever. It kind of just improves the situation. I don't know. This is a weird build, but I really wanted to do a fire one. So really, what it comes down to is the fire one and the good one. Although I probably have more experience with the fire one actually. So I think we just need to jump into it. Although I did want to refresh. Lead Burster kind of just covers for the stuff we can't really do. Because when I noticed something, and this is the first time I've actually had volatile bullets built like this, and I used it against a bulk detonator, and my god, I was really impressed. But unfortunately, it really just sort of locks up against certain other enemies. It doesn't give us the crowd control that I can get out of the coil gun, and Oppressors. I don't know. I feel better with this for some reason. But the Lead Burster does cover for certain weaknesses, especially detonators, given how good Lead Bursters are against them. I did want to reset the lobby though. I was kind of saddled with a pretty bland point extraction is the only mission that made sense to do because it was my assignment mission. If we get something better this time. Well, that hasn't changed. Oh, okay. I know what's going on here. That's going to be second. We're doing this one now, though. And I'm going to bump things up a bit. I'm actually going to do something I don't normally do, which is more enemies times 2. Not technically times 2, it's actually only plus 50%, but still. There'll be more stronger enemies as well. So, wish me luck. I can actually feel my voice starting to deteriorate, which is not great, but I should actually be talking about cluster munitions. Cluster munitions, like I said, it is quite balanced. That ammo penalty is fucking insane. I actually wouldn't call this overclock. I think it could actually do with a little bit more ammo, like a tiny bit. You know, like maybe like 16 to 32 more rockets. It's offset by it being super powerful and good at everything, I guess. Except Mactera. It's not great against Mactera. It's good against everything in a condensed environment, though, for obvious reasons. It's just against normal groups of Mactera, it could be a bit better. That's something we're not going to struggle too much against in this, though, I imagine. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Couldn't be the case. Okay. I imagine I won't have any need to pause this mission or cut anything because it's a point extraction with lots more enemies. All right, good start. Whoa! Dumbass temp shocked himself. Ooh, look at that. Delicious. So yeah, I mean, a big takeaway for me, like already, just based on the build, is that this is a really unconventional build. This is not the kind of thing I would normally use. The way it kind of splits its roles in a really weird way. Also, cluster munitions does a thing where sometimes it makes it so you can't reload. You just have to ignore that. Whoa!
Pick it up, drone.
More enemies making the Glyphid spawn 2 swarmers. What the fuck? That's kind of sick. I like that. Well, it's not good. It's not good for us, but I like it. Even the grunts are temp shocking themselves. What the hell? That's awesome. I love that. I genuinely find shit like that so funny. I think I first experienced that with a Praetorian actually, like a while ago. I noticed a Praetorian temp shocked itself. Don't go down there. Anyway, I think I need to prioritize Nitro. Or have Bosco prioritize Nitro. Could get messy if I don't, you know, lock in.
No more walking on eggshells. I need you here.
Alright, Bosco, you can get that at Nitro. I mean, look, we're already under 100 rockets, but then again, okay, we do have extra enemies. I actually don't feel bad about that at all. We're doing fine. And you can already see the power. I mean, if you haven't used cluster munitions before, if you're like watching this for some reason, like with no faith in this overclock, you might be in the wrong place. I'm probably not the best person to watch if you want to be convinced about something. But if you want to be shown ways of using it that might work for you, then be sure to stick around. I feel like with the 2 builds I'm going to be showing, I've covered a lot of ground in terms of how you can use this overclock. So maybe if I'm lucky, I've got something for everyone in here. Also, my instincts tell me there might be something of value up here. Oh, where is it? Okay, fine. I think it's time to start with the Aquarks. If there wasn't a swarm to begin with. There wasn't. Okay, so actually, I don't really remember Praetorians like cooling down quickly, or like cooling down quickly. I think it was like kind of, well, not necessarily the opposite. I guess I knew it wasn't the opposite. I shouldn't really be surprised. I guess it's actually kind of a decent test for a fire build is to use it where it's actually technically worse than the bomb. I guess that's a good idea. Right. Could have been better. Hello there. Why did I just get flashbanged with like an anecdote of when like some kid threw a stick at me from across the road? They shouted Gandalf. Not that I wasn't a kid at the time as well. I was, but it's still weird. Yeah, I mean, yeah, things happen in my life. Egg.
Pop the swarmer egg.
Grunts. Grunts are dead.
Don't waste your ammunition.
Okay. Fine.
Bosco, find it. Horn ready.
Time to lock in, guys.
Zip line done.
Especially because my throat is just really deteriorating. I think I first had an experience like this when I recorded the warnings guide. That was like the first time I recorded something that was like over an hour, I think, of just talking by myself. Obviously, it's really offset when we're together, me and Tyler, because I'm not the only person talking. And in fact, he tends to do a bit more talking than me, which he tends to, not always, but tends to. And it's usually better that way because my mouth just dries out very quickly as well. Like I need a drink like all the time. It's really annoying actually. I don't know if I have something going on that I should be aware of.
Zip line up.
But yeah, so far so good. In fact, what's surprising me is actually the comfortability of enemy frequency 2.
Here we go.
I thought it would be worse actually. I thought it'd be more panic-inducing. Which is why there's a good chance I'm actually going to stick around just to show off the build. I'm basically done the mission. Basically, obviously, I guess we'll like get the. Thought my phone was vibrating. Actually, my foot. It's actually. Okay. I'm not an unhealthy person, guys. I'm actually not. I eat fine. I do plenty of exercise. I could sleep better, definitely, but I guess my foot decided to vibrate. But yeah, all right. Okay, we'll get that. That's easy. And then kind of just go glyphid egg hunting.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
And because it's point extraction, we'll start to run into more and more enemies, which is good for us.
Light for me, please.
I should talk a little bit about how it feels to use this overclock because it's not the most normal reload overclock. You have to hold the button, so you're not actually reloading. You're actually engaging in an ulterior function by holding the button. It's a different input technically, I guess. But it feels okay. It could feel a little bit better to use. Like it's not the most ergonomic thing in the world, and the fact that it sometimes jams the reload isn't great. It's really powerful though. I have a lot of fun with it.
Help me mine this.
Okay.
Reloaded.
It's kind of even hard to point about weaknesses. I mean, I've already pointed them out. Like you know, groups of flying enemies and the fact that it could have a bit more ammo. That's kind of it. Like, it really does just decimate every ground-based enemy. Except oppressors, because they're so resistant to explosive damage. Not great against them, which isn't surprising to me. I kind of anticipated that before I even used it. But it's still probably the biggest and most pleasant surprise was to find out how good it is against things like Orients. Oh shit! This is more enemies. Oh, but this is what I wanted from more enemies. Alright, shield. Shit.
Who's gonna protect you now, Rawley? Come and get died the way it lived. Feeling disgusting.
Oh, better make a name for myself here. Sorry, I can't help. That's been taken off though, hasn't it? I mean, look, the cat's out of the bag. I mean, let's be fair to Deadpool Wolverine. It's already the highest grossing Deadpool movie. It's the highest grossing R-rated Disney film, if you could even call it a Disney film, which it technically is, but I wouldn't call it one. And you know what? I kind of think it deserves it. I really like the meme that kind of compares The Boys to Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's kind of calling out The Boys, which is fine. I still like The Boys, but I do see some of the criticisms. But it's kind of like comparing it where it's like shallow, like social commentary versus like pure comic book brain rot fun, and I understand the sentiment. It's almost with Deadpool and Wolverine, almost circled back around to liking like more pure superhero stuff, even though it is quite cynical and abrasive in its own way. It's still like pure fun at the same time. It's not trying to be. It's not trying to. It's fun, even if it is not like the. It's not. It's quite cynical, but it's still a lot of fun. Unlike The Boys, which isn't always fun. I like that show a lot, and I still like season 4, but I understand where some people are coming from. Invincible is actually the same, but you know, sometimes you do need a little bit of seriousness to drive home the drama of a story. And I think Invincible definitely has that. Invincible isn't always fun, but when it's not, it definitely serves the story. Oh, okay. I think there's a bunch of enemies behind me that I didn't notice. Okay, not loads. All right, you need to get up there.
I was born ready. Another egg eradicated.
Something that we're actually or are seeing now is that this Overclock is actually quite good against Swarmers. The Hurricane's actually, Swarmers are not something that it struggles against normally, but this is like even better. Unfortunately, it's much worse against Shockers and Shredders, whereas the normal Hurricane is quite good against them. This is actually notably worse, I would say. But there is a bit of a trade-off there. The trade-off is basically flying enemies. Which can be alleviated, with secondary. It's not a huge deal, but it is the biggest thing that stands out to me. And I think that really being that, and the fact that its ammo pool isn't huge, being like the only real tangible weaknesses of the Overclock, makes it understandable why it's being sort of hailed as pretty much one of the best Overclocks in the game. Definitely one of the best Hurricane Overclocks, and I'm definitely not going to deny that. I mean, the Hurricane has a really amazing selection of Overclocks, and this is a very fine addition to it. And I do, by the way, I do think this is the best gunner Overclock that they had. I think this is better than Mortar Rounds, definitely better than Rotary Overdrive. Yeah, big fan of it.
It's perforation time. Spit on your grave, spitter. Flares recharging.
Something I don't do much is sort of like the airstrike effect, which is sort of, leading the rockets over a group of enemies and then like clustering them. I tend to just focus on the stuff in front of me, but it is still cool the way it works. Like the airburst effect is really satisfying, which is another thing that it has on its side. Not that Mortar Rounds doesn't, but cluster charges really got satisfaction, like down packed.
No more walking on eggshells.
Right, I need to get up into that offshoot room
Charging.
quickly because I do want to do that elimination as a second mission. That double XP elimination. Okay, I don't think there's a big offshoot room. Means there should be an egg around here somewhere.
Shield up.
No egg?
I was born ready.
No egg for me? What over here?
Blind ready.
That's all I need and then I can go. I mean, come on guys.
Make every bullet count.
There it is.
Secondary objective completed. Make it home to collect your bonus.
Access provided.
Whoa! Yankee with no brim! That was not intentional, believe it or not.
Saved by a machine. How humiliating. I'm scared of you.
Okay. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be complaining too much about the ammo given how much shit we've killed and like how many I've used 2 resupply like charges, I think. 2, I think it's 2. Not even 3. Yeah, there's still 2 left. So, but this is almost purely large groups of enemies, so large groups of soft enemies, which are the specialty, you know. But I'm not going to deny that it felt amazing. That was great stuff, even with 2 downs. I mean, I think the downs were sort of perceived, avoidable stuff, really. Things going to immediately get rocky as soon as he smashes his cards. I won't allow it. Okay, an oppressor, and that's actually good because this is how I can show you a weakness of this build. Not the Overclock necessarily, but just the build that I've chosen to wait for it. Don't do much to oppressors, and this guy will definitely lose his fire. Yeah. Well, it's kind of blocked by the terrain, so that's on me. It wasn't a problem really, and that's the thing about oppressors. Oppressors are cool, but they're never problems, especially not on their own. I still love them. They're like definitely an A tier design, and I think. Also, I do love. I'm pretty sure Necrothermal Catalyst, the explosion is affected by the size of the enemy, and I really love that. It's a great touch. And this air burst and shock us. I'm surprised I hit any of those. I mean, there might have been the turret from the minehead, to be fair. Ooh, that was a good takedown. I like that. Okay. Let's start talking then. I'm sure you can see that this thing is fantastic against squishy hordes. And even handling certain other threats. There's no real issues. Although, I'm having an issue now. Which is coming from some kind of lack of ingenuity. I don't know what that's all about. But I can't deny my utter enjoyment of this as well. But let's get in that pod. So yeah, if you wanted something that's going to deal with basically everything outside of elimination, I guess this is the build for you. And honestly, it would probably still be fine. I can imagine this being wonderful on things like escort duty as well. Just to escort duty, maybe even deep scan, I'm not sure. It's just a wonderful build and a wonderful overclock. And I'm very pleased that the fire actually has a real shot here. I think the fire upgrade, I don't actually use it that much on the Hurricane now that I think about it. The Forge Lord! But I'm glad that I do use it from time to time because it means that I got to experience that. I mean, the ones where I use it are that and fucking dipshit mine layer system. And you know what? I want to give this overclock a bit more, even more credit. It doesn't turn off the guidance. Thank fuck, because every fucking overclock on that weapon does. It's annoying. Oh look, I finally got both of these, Ice Plum and Forge Lord. Means I'm basically done. What's Ice Plum look like? Genuinely don't. I have no real concept of what this would look like. Okay, I guess I did. That's nice though. I don't hate that at all. I like those colours quite a bit. It'd be nice if we had an armour paint that really matched it. I'm sure I could find something on Scout. But yeah, it's definitely a nice paint job. We've got to switch over though for this guy. So this guy is basically the same thing except constructed to be much more generalist. No real elemental weaknesses or whatnot. We still got the tier 1 AoE, but we've actually got armor breaking in tier 2 because it just feels much better against hordes of enemies and really helps our secondary, which is a precision based bulldog. Tier 3 magazine size because each shot is so strong anyway that I'm not too concerned about rapid damage output with this one. I found nano missiles to be slightly better for this build specifically, and vice versa for the other one. Obviously, zip fuel still in tier 4, but uncontrolled decompression. Now we've got the stun, a true, just crowd clearing, monster killing monster of its own right. And the bulldog in our secondary slot, built with homebrew powder, which is, I believe, is technically slightly better than 11th round for like straightforward single target damage. We've gone full ammo because the damage mods on the bulldog are shit. And it's using volatile bullets. I'm still using Neurotoxin tier 5 because I just can't resist it. I just find it to be better. But I am using improved perfect weight balance in tier 1, which really gives us all the accuracy that we need. It'd be nice if we could take floating barrel because it's such a powerful accuracy mod, but it's competing with ammo, so you know. And hollow point bullets is an obvious one. Yeah, so very, very nice generalist precision bulldog. As the Hurricane will still be dealing with single targets sometimes, especially Praetorians, which is fantastic against. But the bulldog is there to be a very, very potent companion piece. Just a really well-rounded build, and I think Elimination is a decent way to prove that. But before we go, let's check out the Forge Lord. That's not the Forge Lord. That's not the Forge Lord either. That's not Forge Lord either. There he is. Oh. Right, I'm going to equip that. I had a good feeling about it. It's kind of like the Grim Spectre, but better. Oh, look at that. I mean, come on, man. I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know if I want to change it to that or not. I might do. That definitely gets a lot out of the glowing eyes. That's a good helmet. And I like the way it plays with colour. So it uses sort of the tertiary colour, I think, in your paint job. Sort of like the main colour of it. Oh, that's good as well. Oh, the glowing eyes are really good. Oh, I wish I could use that. Oh, man. Show me that. Huh. Nah, it's not actually dangerous. I'll stick with this guy. I like him. He's also got nice, like, dark eyes. Black like a dollar's eyes. But let's get started. I imagine this should go just as well. We're going to be seeing it in a bit of a different context. A different, obviously, setup for the Hurricane in this case. No surprise, I do recommend the first build quite strongly, but it might not surprise you that I recommend this overclock quite strongly. This is probably a 9 out of 10 overclock. when it comes to actually like rating it in terms of our like weapon balance rating system, it probably would get a 4. Just for strength reasons. I don't know, maybe it's just a 3 actually. It's really powerful, but it is definitely balanced. And I'm not going to push for that extra ammo. I mean, maybe 60, maybe half a clip more, I would say is a very reasonable request. Oh, swarmers. They are no more. Although their jumping is actually helping them avoid my bomblets, which is annoying. But yeah, let's just go. Oh, what's going on in here? Did I just see something rival related? I don't think I did actually. Crazy. Oh, he put it away. Damn. Need that weak point open. Whoa! A room of breeders is not my cup of tea, I must say. I need to start taking them out. You are my first target. Perfect. You are the second. Much harder to hit than the first for some reason. Much harder to hit than the first. Do you mind? Oh! Okay, so if there's anything that I might already be sort of reconsidering, it's definitely the fire rate thing. I'm not sure I'm actually justifying the magazine size that much so far. It's already... I already feel like I could do with a bit more of that. A bit more of the fire rate, I should say. It's actually kind of hard to show off how good it is against Praetorians when I have to get the missiles out that I need to kill the Praetorian. It takes much longer to do that, which doesn't feel good. Do you mind, sir? I don't know why it feels natural to jump whenever I shoot. Is that weird? It is weird, actually. I can tell you that. It definitely is weird. Alright, you done with that breeder yet, Bosco? Good lord.
Sweet. My grandpa told me they use real mules.
Wait a minute, have I got this? Have I got the magazine size and the fire rate the wrong way round? I think I might have done. I think I should be using magazine size on the fire, if anything. But it kind of takes less to get us where we need to be, I guess. I don't know. I might switch the fire rate though for this one anyway. Not necessarily going to switch them. Not necessarily going to, like, you know, invert them necessarily. It might be a case that fire rate's just better, which is usually the case. I would say more often than not that's the case. I don't think I use... I think I do use magazine size for plasma bursters. It's quite good there. Gives you quite a bit more ammo, and plasma bursters doesn't really rely on you having loads of missiles out very quickly. That's not super essential to make good use of plasma bursters. Anyway, I think, aside from that goo bomber that I just heard, we're in a position to start this. I think we'll be alright ammo-wise, even though I will probably need to think about when I will be able to resupply pretty much as soon as we have done this. Twins. I thought it'd be twins. I was feeling it in my bones. Anyway, time to show off a bit. Right, the neurotoxin doesn't want to activate today. Oh, that's against the Arbalest. And we're not going to be able to do as much against the Arbalest because it really, the power, like the single target comes from raining down loads of explosions on a single enemy. I'll try and do it against the Arbalest. This is a good moment. That wouldn't be terrible. Okay. Right. I want eyes on the Arbalest at all times. I think you're still seeing some pretty decent stuff going on. And for an overclock that seems so skewered towards AoE, I think this is more than respectable work. Alright, I need to find some sugar now. I should not have... I was ignoring the Arbalest quite foolishly. Nitra.
Help me mine this.
And there's some sugar. Lucky me.
Red
It's
sugar.
actually quite... Oh wow, there's quite a lot of nitro there. Yeah, I wouldn't have to be sort of like leading the missiles upwards so much so I can concentrate them if I was using fire rate. So I'm feeling pretty convinced about that. That needs to change. I should be dead. Oh, fuck. I am dead. And those missiles went to waste. My apologies.
Run for cover.
God, I should be dead again. I should be... Oh no! Jesus Christ. Please be big. Please be big.
Miners, you're
Fuck!
about to get peppered by lithophage meteor fragments.
Always little ones. It's always little ones. Always. I don't know who told Ghost Ship that we prefer little meteors to big meteors. 'Cause I don't. Fucking hell. Look at this shit. Oh, fuck. Missed. Missed again. I missed the weak point again. Jesus. As you can see, they're pretty much just as good at killing soft creeps of enemies as the fire version. There you go, there's my amazing gold tier accuracy kicking in. Oh, bad. Did Roscoe mine that? Nitro? Am I? It? Yeah, how did it one up here? Or was this from the other vein? The other vein. So what happened to the big vein?
Black hole for the news.
Why can't Bosco mine meteorites? But they're basically the same as Morkai seeds, and Bosco can mine those. So yeah, what this has actually done, because we've actually gotten some Mactera, you've seen the like that being its real weakness. We kind of fold a little bit when faced with multiple Macteras, because you just can't interrupt them all in good enough time to really deal with them in the way that you would want to, which is prevent them from attacking before they, you know, kill them before they can actually attack. It's kind of not really in the cards when you're using this overclock. You kind of have to accept that. I kind of have to accept that. Oh, there it is. The massive nitro vein was not mined. Okay, I think what I'm actually going to do is bring in a resupply in here. Actually, but yeah, it's kind of something you have to accept. I think if you had
Hang in there. Supplies
velocity, and if you had velocity, it would be that much less of a problem actually. But I don't really want velocity, especially if I'm not using its fire rate. It's kind of it's interesting. It's kind of hard to
Time to restock.
wrap my head around a little bit. Not that hard, but maybe it's a job to chain hit of it, of all things. But if your aim is true, then you'll be rewarded. There's the Praetorian single target damage I was looking for. I think I am going to change the fire rate thing though. I think I'm finding I've got more than enough ammo to justify losing 16, I think, for much greater DPS and just overall flexibility.
Help me mine this. Shields ready again. Ammo taken.
I think we should push on into the next room to see what's going on. Hopefully we got some kind of extra pizzazz. I'd love an omen, I think. That'd be awesome. So the homebrew powder bulldog actually came up pretty late as like the companion piece for this hurricane. It was actually the Burt for a while with is it full chamber seal? It's not full chamber seal, it's the other one. It's the one, the clean ammo overclock. I took that with weak point damage and it was fine, but it was really, it ran out of ammo really quickly. It stopped being like fine when it was just, its ammo economy was just so much worse than the Hurricanes,
I was born ready.
which doesn't even have amazing ammo economy in place. It does in terms of breakpoints. This overclock does add some really lovely breakpoints. Hurricane.
Whack-a-mole.
Oh my god, another breeder Gale Bramble combo. Where do they get these ideas? Alright, Scramble Bramble. Wouldn't it be Bramble Scrambled, you dumb fuck? Whoa! Look at this. The Hordes of Hell. Oh, mama. I'm itching to do another Overclock tier list. That's not a good thing. I was thinking about doing it actually once I finish these videos. Doing my own true speed run where I would do the full Overclock tier list, but I would basically I would genuinely speed run it. I wouldn't even talk, I don't think. That's basically how I was thinking about doing it, which I think could be pretty funny. I'll probably actually use the same criteria that Lazy Maybe and Waste used when they did theirs, which I have long disapproved of, but it wasn't that bad.
Just got updated with a new location.
It made some sense. Hello, Hooly Hoarder. I'm going to ignore you because I hate you. Also, there is another breeder in here somewhere, isn't there? I mean, we're not going over there yet. But still, that's crazy.
Wally.
Not a single one of them is Rockbox. I didn't know it was actually digging the thing out that was the enemy. Well, I think it kind of seems to be both. I don't know.
Swimming in beach floats. Performance point bonus is active.
Actually, what I really like about this, the fact that this Overclock is so good against Praetorians, is that it kind of makes it so that that's its role, is Praetorian killer as well as crowd clearer, and therefore a secondary is for every other single target. But Praetorians get excluded, as in we don't really need to use our Bulldog ammo on them, which I think is actually really nice. We can just use the Hurricane.
Come here, you blind tin can. Come here.
Alright, I need to go get that resupply again, and I'll meet you when I'm ready to do the second Dreadnought. I am being assailed by various kinds of crooks, hooligans, such as the dastardly Stingtail, who doesn't respond well to violence. Ollie, get the fuck out the way. Can he just get rid of Molly collision? Like, Molly projectile collision, please. It's not helping. It's not helping. Obviously, it's not helping. No shit, but it's really the opposite of helpful. It's detrimental.
And loaded.
Right, where is this dread? Down there. I would like to get all 3 dreadnought things.
Let's try to flank the ugly bugger.
Although I'd rather get the classic than anyone else. Okay, so someone might have run out of disk space. Only a couple seconds had passed though. Back. Only a couple seconds had passed. I have actually gone into the next phase though, next stage of this dreadnought. But the methodology is pretty simple. We use the rockets for the shield phase and Bulldog for the weak point phase, and it works out swimmingly. Mamma mia! Oh, okay. I expected there to be another invincibility phase. There wasn't. Which means that we are free to press on. Although I probably should explore these extra tunnels to make sure there's no, well, people with any apocalypse. I'll probably see you back at the next Dreadnought. Maybe, unless something else happens. Actually, I mean, I probably should unpause now because I know this room's going to be full of shit, including a breeder. And that. And a Corlock! Woo! Baby! Woo! Better make a name for myself. Holy shitball. Where's that breeder? I want that dead before I even think about the Corlock. Although I think I'm going to have to think about the Corlock before the Dreadnought. That's pretty obvious. I don't even have a problem with that. Not how I would choose for this to be. Necessarily. Okay. Got scout around the point. Well, I will try and take. Let's try and take the booty down. If it weak point gets exposed, I can. Right, there we go. That's done. I've just got to find our footing now. Get the action. Lower this conversation, a little bit more action, please. One Mr. Presley said.
Bosco, line it.
Well, I should have more Apoca Blooms by now. I feel like there actually are quite a few. Probably not what you want to see, really. Is flower collecting, but part of the job. Blame PRG. It's starting to get bright at 5:30.
Help me mine this.
Delicious. Why not? I didn't do anything.
Come here.
Gotta be real careful here. I think actually this might be a good place for a resupply.
I'm glad we have someone to carry
Got
on.
nice and tucked away.
Nitro's been withdrawn.
And I think we just can't even start the Thorlock isms. About to happen. Avoiding it. Well, I could avoid it technically, but I don't want to. Look at this guy. I'm glad this helmet's good. I haven't been too impressed with a lot of the new cosmetics in Season 5, to be honest. I mean, a lot of the headgear has actually been like the headgear has actually been some of the best stuff.
Bosco, what is line it?
I mean, I'm not sure how I'm going to play this because clustering charges isn't great against Corlock sprouts because like where you damage them is above the ground. Kind of weird. Why I might sort of flip the script a bit and bulldog for the sprouts. Cluster charges for the core. Should open now. And that works just fine. Okay. We're in safe hands.
I need some water. Lock and loaded.
So I do want to cluster charge these idiots. Okay. Yeah, it's not very good against them. Which is fine. Fine. Whoa! I put another resupply up here just for what's the word? Insurance, I think would be what I'm thinking of. But this isn't going badly. It's actually a fairly comfortable call look as far as it can go.
Bonus will be transferred to your accounts on mission completion.
Whoa!
Damn flares could mean an upgrade. I like your mother.
But yeah, I mean, that fire rate needs to change. It's not beneficial. It was, well, I'd say it was there, but I'm actually quite happy with that. I wasn't sure it'd be good against even the core, but it was. That was good. That was good core lock. No problem with that.
I'm getting too old for this.
Which means it's time to take on that final dreadnought. I think this tunnel up here is actually our best bet, unless it's the twins, in which a tunnel is actually not where you want to be. If it's a hive guard or a normal dreadnought, then it should be just fine. Okay. It's the twins. They're back. Still gonna use this. Actually, no. This tunnel should be fine.
Weapon ready.
That's quite skewered towards the lacerator, which might not be a bad idea given how much more damage I can do to it. But then I'll be stuck, if I do that, I'll be stuck with a high health arbalest. Don't necessarily want that. Wall falls. Script who killed the arbalest first. And look at my ammo. I didn't even start on full ammo. I think my complaints about ammo inefficiency kind of fallen on deaf ears. The deaf ears being my own. I think I was actually wrong about that. But all that being said, it's time to get the fuck out of here. What an overclock. Extremely powerful AoE in a very unique way of delivering it. And still very powerful single target against ground-based enemies, but a horde of Mactera such as this might prove troublesome. Oh no! Yeah. Very, very obvious weakness against airborne enemies. But against ground-based enemies, there is no greater bane to their resistance. And it is delectable with both the stun and the fire, and is very, very friendly to any way you would want to build your secondary. Really, I would say that's actually one of its sort of an unspoken strength, is that it's very friendly to a variety of secondary builds. I think should not be undervalued. I will say though, that thing I just mentioned, the airborne thing, kind of also applies to a caretaker, I'd say. Yeah, probably. You probably would still be fine in industrial sabotage, but the caretaker might prove more finicky than you'd like. Would they be sense taking chain hit? I don't think so. I think I do want that extra damage. Especially, it counted for something, especially against like oppressors and wardens and breeders and stuff. And the dreadnoughts too, for sure. So I think I want to stay with Homebrew Powder working quite well. But I will be changing that fire rate. That needs to change.
Lock and load it.
What are you doing? You're not mining it. You're not doing anything, Bosco. You're not doing anything.
Rock and stone forever.
sake. Only I can miss that.
In T-minus 4 minutes.
Born ready.
But I swear these videos have a negative impact on my posture. Which is my fault.
The mule's been successfully retrieved.
Alright,
Make it snappy, team.
that's going to be it then.
Robot won't hang around forever.
So yeah, strong recommend on the overclock, strong recommend on both builds. You're free to tweak certain things like velocity and fire rate and things like that. But I would say at the core of it are stun and fire are both very valid ways to go with this, and I think you sort of adjust your secondary to match. Probably a 9 out of 10 overclock, I'd say. So, if you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to stay on top of Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core, and you want to see more videos like this, then please click that bell as well. And we'll see you on Saturday. I haven't quite confirmed that this is what the topic's going to be, but I think we're going to be tearing down Season 4, which is an old tradition. So we'll see you then. But next time on Overclock Showcase is Combustive Goo Mix. Great. Yeah, I'm actually not looking forward to that one. Yeah, they could have done better with that. But that's all from me today. See ya. And thanks as always.